Okay, this week I'm going to continue on getting into more lifting content. Last week I did the full body split, which is something you can get into like the first start off with. And so full body split is like where you get you hit your shoulders, both your biceps and your triceps, your chest, your back, and your legs all in one session. Now, volume per muscle group is going to be a lot smaller, but you make up for it in like frequency. So, like for instance, you might only do say 3 or 4 sets per muscle group. So, you like in a sense 5 reps, 3 times. That's like 3 sets. So you could do that 3 or 4 times in one session, but you're making up for it in like the frequency. So your overall volume is still going to be within like a range where you can stimulate muscle growth. And now I'm going to like I mentioned Brad Schoenfeld. He's like one of the top researchers, if not the top one out there. And like if you want to, if you're someone who's into analytics and everything, get into the stuff that the studies that he's into, because at least in my opinion, his name is like the gold standard when it comes to studies. So I'm a big fan of just getting started. So as you're getting don't as you start lifting, just go right into it and like learn as you go, because there's this thing called paralysis by analysis, where you're sitting there taking all these studies like, well, this study says this, that study says this, well, this one says totally something totally different. 3 weeks pass and you haven't done anything because like you're still kind of like clambering all over the studies and everything. So what you want to do is just get started while you're getting into the study, so that way you're 3 weeks in already, and now you have 3 weeks of practical experience of lifting. Plus, you're starting to get all this information for future reference and everything. So one study may say like, oh, the push pull leg split is the best. This study may say bro split's the best. This one says an upper lower split is the best. So you're sitting there like, which one do I go with and everything. So building off last one, in my opinion, the full body split would be a great way to start, to get you the experience of starting lifting, and you start on the machines, so that way you can get not only experience but confidence in yourself and how to lift. So that way you can segue into like these other splits that I mentioned. So what I'm going to talk about today is like the push pull leg split. So after you do the full body split, like this one would be a great segue into after that, so that way you can get more experience. So now most programs, like especially like the Athlean X programs that I'm big into, most of them are 3 months long. I mean, I know Jeff Cavalier does have his NXT programs, which are 1 month long. So those are kind of like a quick, like 1 month sprints type of deal. But the vast majority of his programs are 3 months. So for instance, lastly, getting started off with like full body, a split. What you want to do is do it like 3 days a week, and for instance, that's what his AX1 program is like a 3 day a week full body split with 2 days of conditioning. So you could theoretically do like the stereotypical Monday through Friday work week. What you can do is you can actually do the program within the work week. It gives you the weekend. So if you're for instance busy with family, friends, and running errands and basically with life, it gives you the weekend to kind of get caught up on that stuff. And of course, with the 7 pillars, with consistency on those 2 off days on the weekend, it's easy to get derailed. So you want to be consistent, and maybe you don't technically sit on the couch watching Netflix for the whole a weekend. What you do is you get out and active. Maybe you go for an easy 2-3 mile hike or something on Saturday as you're getting with friends or something, so you can still stay active, and it'll complement your training program that you're doing, with the AX1 program that I mentioned, doing the Monday through Friday split. So once you get in further into the lift and everything, though, you're going to get to what's known as a plateau. So you're making progress, and all of a sudden things level off, and that's what is known as a plateau. So where you're not making any progress whatsoever. So most programs are, like I said, 3 months long, because that's it's in my opinion and my view, that's usually when you start seeing the what's known as diminishing returns. So you stop making like leaps and bounds of progress. I mean, you're going that is going to happen in the beginning, even with doing just a full body split. So like for instance, like what worked for me in the beginning, like when I first quit drinking, is that I did do the full body split. I used the machines at the local YMCA. I did the whole circuit. Like they had like machines around the walls, and then I just did a whole circuit. I like would do 3 sets on each machine. So full body is good to get started with, and so like I did that 3 days a week. Plus I went up to the cardio room and gone the elliptical for 3 days a week. So like I just went all hell bent on getting to the gym 6 days a week, and like and that pretty much what got me started and everything. So like after probably about a year, it was like I mean, I did lose 50 pounds in that first year, but that's when I met that first plateau that I mentioned, where I was like I for 6 months straight after that I wasn't losing any weight and everything. So, but that's when I got like my nutrition in check, which is pillar number 2, and I'll get into that further in detail in like more videos and everything. So like that's when like I started getting more into like the free weights and stuff. So like with the push-pull leg split, what this that is like for instance, like a push exercise is what you're or a push workout. You're getting like your chest, basically doing like horizontal pushes and vertical pushes, and you're also getting like your triceps, because those tend to help out like your chest in those chest exercises. So if, like for instance, like you're doing like the barbell, like bench press, like you're primarily using your chest in the press, but like your triceps are also helping out. So that's why like in push workouts you tend like in the push pull leg split you tend to use like antagonizing muscles, or like muscles that complement one another. So like in pull workouts, what you're doing is you get your back sort of like horizontal, where you're doing like a barbell row like from the floor, you're doing it bent over. And you're with the pull, you're also in a sense using your biceps as well. So it's like the same thing like with the vertical pull, where you're pulling yourself up with a pull up, you're also using your biceps as well. So that's why like in a pull workout you're getting your back and your biceps, and in a leg workout of course like you're getting like your quads, your calves, your hamstrings, and pretty much like from the hips down. So this is like a perfect way to incorporate like a compound, starting getting big into the compound movements, which like those are known as multi-joint exercises, because you're using like multiple joints. So that's why they're called compound movements. So like for instance, like when you're doing a bench press, you're using like your shoulder plus your elbow, so like you're using multiple joints. When you're doing a squat, you like have the barbell on your back, you're squatting down, you're using your hips and your knees. And it's like the same thing like with deadlift, and pretty much in the opposite direction. You're like picking up the barbell from the floor, you're starting like with your like legs and using your knees, and you as you pick up you're driving like with like your hips. So like you're using your knees and your hips for the deadlift. So that's why I think those are like compound movements, and those are usually considered the big 3. And in powerlifting competitions, those are the lifts that they use. So like now there's different ways of doing like exercises, of course. Like with the deadlift I just mentioned, there's like the 3 popular ways. Like there's the sumo squat, where you like see someone kind of like out standing like they're going like a sumo wrestler or whatever, and they'll do a deadlift that way. Or there's the traditional way, like I mentioned, where you're in a sense like reverse squatting type of deal. Like you're bending at the knees and picking up with your legs in a sense in the first part, and then as like you get up to your waist, you're kind of driving with your hips. So like they use the conventional one. And of course there's also like a third variation, RDL, which is Romanian deadlift, where you're pretty much standing like stiff-legged, and it shifts more of the focus towards like your hamstrings and your hips and everything. So it kind of in a sense takes out your quads type of deal. So it's one of those things like you're going to have to play around with to find out which version is best for you. Now, like probably the easiest way to do it is get into the conventional one. And with any and every exercise, what you want to do, especially if you're first starting out, is get with a trainer, so like they can teach you how to do like the exercises properly. So like if you're in a sense like kind of strapped for cash, the best way to go about it is like you could like always go to Planet Fitness or whatever. I mean, like, it gets a lot of shit and everything for like the stupid shit that it does, like the stupid wonk alarms, like the Tootsie Rolls, bagels, and it got Pizza Day, and it's more geared towards like cardio. But like if you're strapped for like cash and you can't necessarily afford like a $50-$60 gym membership, what you can do is you can go to like Planet Fitness and get their black card membership for $25 and get access to their personal trainer who can actually start showing you how to do this stuff. So like that's like for us when you first start getting in, so you can start learning the exercises. So like for instance, when you're starting off with like the full body split, you get with a trainer so they can teach you how to like use the machines and everything. And then like maybe as you progress into this push pull legs split that I'm talking about, they can start teaching you how to use the free weights and actually how to do each exercise, like the proper way to do a bench press, a bicep curl, a shoulder press, deadlift, squats. So like you get to know the proper form and everything. So like the push pull leg split is like the best, in a sense, one of the best ways to segment your lifting even further. So like I mentioned, with the most programs being about 3 months long, what you could do like with the full body split is, in a sense, is like start off like for 3 months with like the machine, so you get not only do you get the 3 months of progress with like the full body split, you in the machines you start getting more confidence in it. Then spend like the second 3 months doing like a full body split for like with free weights, and then like you start getting into like the push pull legs. So where like whereas like the full body split, like you're doing less volume per muscle group each session, but you're getting like a frequency of like 3 times. Maybe if you're like scheduled like doing 6 days a week, you could get like or a way the 7-day week works, so you could possibly like do it 4 days if like you're doing like 4 days of lifting and maybe 2 days of cardio, and like you rotate it, so you could possibly get a 4th day. But usually it's 3 days of 3 days of lifting, of getting every single muscle group. So with the push pull leg split, you're getting less frequency, because usually this is a 6-day a week split. So like for instance, like you start on Sunday and you lift from Sunday to Friday. You'll start on Sunday with a push workout. Monday you'll do a pull workout. Tuesday you'll do a leg workout, and then Wednesday you'll start all over doing push pull legs on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you're getting, in a sense, less frequency compared to a full body split. But what to make what you're doing to make up for that lack of frequency compared to a full body split is you're up in the volume. So like for instance, instead of getting like say 3 sets of bench press on like a full body split on like 3 days a week, what you could do to and also increase the volume even more is do 4 sets of bench press twice a week. So now it's like or like to do the math right, you probably have to do like 5 sets to do more. So like because with the full body split, doing 3 sets 3 times a week, you get 9 sets. So like if you did 5 sets twice a week on the bench press, you'd actually get 10 sets. So you could increase the volume that much more. So like and plus, not only just using the bench press as an example, you're also using a lot more exercises. So like for instance, like with a full body split, you might only do say 2 exercises per group. So like in a sense, you're getting 6 sets per session times 3 sessions in a full body split. You're getting, in a sense, like 18 sets. So 6 times 3. Of course, my math is bad. So like so you get like 2 exercises, 3 sets each. So 6 and 6 is 18. But like with the push workout, for example, like you could do like not only could you increase the volume by doing 5 sets of bench press, you could also increase the volume in a sense by staying with 3 sets of bench press with the barbell. But then you can also introduce like 3 sets of like a dumbbell bench press. So there's 6 sets right there, and then you've only done 2 exercises. You have more time to concentrate on like like each single like muscle group. So like say it takes you an hour to do like the full body split with doing 2 exercises per muscle group. Now, by breaking it up, like you still have, say, an hour to get the exercises in, and doing like the 3 sets of bench press of the barbell, and then doing dumbbell bench press for 3 sets. That, say, only takes you 10 minutes or 15 minutes. You still have like 45 minutes to get the rest of like a chest and tricep exercises. So this is where it makes up for like a with less frequency by increasing the volume. So now you can have like an extra 45 minutes. Like I can get in maybe another 2 exercises for chest. So like after I do like say the bench barbell bench press, the dumbbell bench press, I sit here and I do like a dumbbell fly, where I take the dumbbells and I basically like fly like pull them in an instance, pull them in to kind of get the outside of the chest or type of deal. So like you could do flies, you could like take a single dumbbell in the middle of your chest and do like a squeeze type of deal. So you could do those 2 exercises, get 4 different exercises to increase your volume. And now the same thing like with the triceps. So now like instead of just doing like 2 exercises per month for the triceps 3 times a week, you can now do, say, 3 exercises for 3 sets 3 times a week. So you're in a sense increasing your volume. So this is where like the push-pull legs makes up for the lack of frequency compared to full body, but it makes it up for in the volume that you can do per session. So, but I'm still a firm believer that you want to start with the full body first, get experience with it. So like for instance, like I mentioned, doing like machines for first 3 months, and then moving into free weights for 3 months. So you got 6 months worth of like experience lifting. So that way, like you know the machines and free weights. So it gives you a little more knowledge and like comfortability with the not only machines and free weights, but like it lets you dive right into this push-pull leg split, having experience with both of them. So that way it gives you more exercises to like pick from, so you can mix it up too. So like you don't necessarily have to do like the free weights, like the barbell, the dumbbell, bench press and stuff like that I use. You can also incorporate machines too. So you could do like for instance bench press and like use the pec deck machine for like the example for like the chest for the push workout. So like and so like what you could do is like spend like another 6 months like doing the push pull legs. Like you could do maybe 3 months with the machine, so you can get used to that. The it's called PPL split for short. Do like 3 months of the machine, so you can get used to this split, and then do 3 months of the free weights and everything. So now with these 2 splits, you're already a year in. So like now, like I said, having before, I'm big of just getting started. So like, because it's easy to get into the studies and just sit there and get paralyzed by like all the analysis you're doing. So like, just sitting here, come in, start with the full body split, do that for 6 months. Like I said, with like the free first with the machines, then the free weights, then you can move into the push pull leg split, kind of doing the same concept and everything. So while you're getting into the studies and the analytics of it, not only do you now have like a year's worth of experience, practical experience of doing it, you're still learning on like on the like the analytical side. So like maybe you're coming across some of the other splits that like you like come across that people are talking about, that like so like after a year, not only do you have like a year of experience, you also have like a year worth of knowledge that you're taking in. So you're building upon both aspects, the practical and the analytical. So like because it's easy to just sit there and analyze things to death and not get started. So like for instance, like if you're like just analyzing every little detail and not getting started, you're getting further behind. Whereas if you just get started while you're analyzing stuff, here, like your example I used with doing both splits for 6 months, now you're a year in, and you're a year further along your journey. So like most people, like myself included, that I was in a position where I needed to lose weight. So like you're now like in a position where like you could be like me and have had to lost like 50 pounds, or you could need to lose more or less depending on like your unique situation. So like by just diving in, getting used to like and doing stuff, getting into like the gym, and by starting off trying to get the practical knowledge while you're sitting there also studying, you are further along than you would have been if you had just sat there for a whole year just doing the analysis part. So like this is why I'm big on like just diving right in, getting the practical experience. And so like I said, like I'll reiterate again, start off with a full body split, and could quite possibly do it for 6 months, like I said, with the machines, then the free weights, then get into the PPL split machines and free weights. So now like you're a year into your journey already. So like the push pull leg split is definitely a good segue further into lifting that after starting with your full body. So like next week I'll be getting into probably some of the other splits, like there's the upper lower split, there's the bro split, and then there's like other ones that like kind of like do or pair different muscle groups together. So like I'll probably go further into like the lifting splits that you can do, that you can build upon like after these two splits. So like that's probably like what I'll not only be doing next week, but the next few weeks is getting into like further different splits that you can use to further lifting as well.